Hey guys, week 4 of the Currie Cup will see the Lions versus the Sharks. Remember that second game, the Griquas versus the Bulls, that is cancelled. So on the log, you can see that opens up a lot of things because the Bulls missing this week, probably missing out on a potential 5 points in that game against the Griquas. So that opens up a gap for the Sharks. You should also remember, thanks for a couple of comments about that as well. The Bulls also need to have a bye still in this competition, and there's chances that next week their game against the Lions will be cancelled as well. Poor Lions, that's their third game for this season so far. So the season is open now again, especially for the Sharks. So the Sharks will want to do really well in this game. In this game specifically, it's being played in Johannesburg. Weather looks pretty good. So far, it's going to be played at 7 o'clock with Jaco Peyper being the referee, best referee in South Africa. The last time these two teams did play in the Super Rugby Unlocked season, the Sharks won by 3 points. The Lions last week, they beat the Cheetahs by 16 points. Quite a good victory over there. The Sharks, they beat the Bulls last week by 3 points. That was a brilliant game, probably the best game of rugby we've seen in South Africa this year. The Lions, they are on a 4-match winning streak. The Sharks, they are on a 5-match winning streak. But the thing is, the Lions haven't beaten the Sharks since 2018. So there's a lot of things to consider if you go on streaks and history between these two sides. Looking at the two sides though, the Lions, they are completely unchanged. I'll get to the bracketed players right now. The Sharks, they changed a couple of guys up front. Thomas du Toit, he got injured. He got a little bit of a rib injury last week. So Kumbarai, he comes in. He's a big guy that comes in. He's still young. I think he's probably going to be a Springbok one day. Kieran van Vieren, he played brilliantly last week from the bench, so he gets a start as well. Then the lock pairing, that's a strange one for them with JJ van der Mesht and Fortuin. Both of them are pretty big locks. They add quite a lot of size to the pack, and I think that's the reason they are there, because the Lions scrum have been doing really well. Last week with Sitole and Yanni du Plessis, they scrummed brilliantly against the Cheetahs last week. So the Sharks need all the backup they can get in this week. Jaco Visagie, he's a little bit inconsistent when it comes to line-out time. Last week he did well though. Willem Alberts and Ori, they've been doing a good job at the locks. They have been forming a good pairing over there. Willem Alberts, we know what he can do. Jaco Kriel, he's been doing well. Last week we finally saw a little bit of a run down the wing from the flanker last week. Dylan Richardson, a lot like Jaco Kriel if you do compare them with their ball winning abilities. So I can't wait to see this matchup between the old head versus the young dog. Henko Venter versus Chituka. Chituka might not play. Van der Sluys, he is bracketed in there because of Chituka getting a little bit of a niggle there, as well as Sitole. That's why Smith is bracketed next to him. Sikbose Noche and Len Massane both are busy number 8s. At the number 9s, it's an interesting battle because Nohamba, I don't think he is in the form he used to be earlier in this year. Earlier in this year, he was brilliant. At the moment, he's probably just good if you have to compare him to his form of earlier this year. Andre Warner, what a surprise package he was last week. No one expected this guy that's being benched the whole time, or on the replacements, he hasn't even played this whole year. Coming to number 9, I think he scored 2 or 3 tries. Brilliant game last week. He gets the faith again from the coaches. Elton Yankees versus Bosch. Brilliant matchup because Bosch is obviously pushing to get into that Springbok side. I do think he is favourite at this moment above Willemse. We know about Pollard's injury, so someone has to back up Yankees at this moment when it comes to the Lions tour. Yes, Pollard might be back, but let's see how this progresses with this battle with Bosch and Yankees. I can't wait to see that battle. Yankees, he's been in good form. Bosch, he's been in brilliant form. Then we have Marius Lowe and Kriel, two number 12s that do their job. Nothing spectacular about the two. Wandisile Simelane versus That's a brilliant battle as well. A lot of people are talking about Simelane being the future number 13 for the Springboks. Obviously, is the current Springbok number 13, so that's always a big battle if you get that younger guy and the current guy getting up against each other. Then you get Kosan and Pinaar on the wings for the Lions. They are getting a little bit more busy in this last couple of weeks. I know earlier in the tournament, in the Currie Cup and in the Unlocked season, I said they just aren't getting the ball and they aren't doing much. Now they are actually busy getting a couple of tries behind their name. The wingers for the Sharks are just as busy. Pinke and Nkosi, they are very busy wingers. Nkosi's still kind of finding his form from what he used to have. He has been injured quite a bit, so finding his form. Tiaan Swanepoel with that big boot of his always can keep the Lions in the game if it is a close one. Mani Lebok at number 15, he's been playing quite well as well, getting a couple of steps through and joining up with last week to score a brilliant try over there. Then we get to the benches. Mbata versus Comfort at the number 16s. Dreyer and Habs, that's two good props to bring on for the Lions. Majola versus Hubert Meyer. I do think they're good, but I think the Lions bench might be a little bit better at prop time. I don't know, you can maybe let me know. Then we look at the rest of the benches. There are a couple of guys that might change out for the Lions because of those bracketed players in the starting team, and with the extra couple of players they listed at number 24 and 25 with Carlos Sari. Birgit Odendaal and Ulengo, they also come back. Odendaal, he's back from his little bit of an injury he had. The Sharks, they also bring back a couple of players from injury, especially James Venter. That's a big guy for them to bring back. Remember that form he used to be in the start of the year. He's not there yet because he's been injured a couple of times this year. So let's see what he does. Jeremy Ward, he's also a guy to always consider when you do your planning for a game. Guys, to predict this one is a difficult one. I do think the Sharks are going to push to win this one, especially with the Bulls now having that game off. The Lions, yes, they also have a reason to play well because their game might be cancelled next week, and then they missed 3 in the whole season that they got 2 points from. So there's both teams have reasons to play for. I think the Sharks have more reason to play for. I think the Sharks by 8 points in this one. Let me know your prediction for this game down in the comments below. Check out these videos, hit the subscribe button, and then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.